Have you ever felt shaken by a single word, a dismissive glance, a negative comment, or perhaps a small incident was enough to ruin your entire day? If so, there's no shame in it. That's how most people in today's world are conditioned, reacting on impulse, living at the mercy of their environment, vulnerable to external forces. But you can be different. You can forge a resilient mind, an unbreakable inner strength, a mind that stands firm like a mountain, no matter what storms rage outside. This isn't empty rhetoric. It's a truth proven over centuries by Stoic philosophy, by warriors, leaders, and ordinary people like you who differ in one key way. They train their minds daily. They choose silence over anger, reason over emotion, resilience over complaint. And you can do the same. In today's video, you'll be guided through 10 core principles to strengthen your mind, rooted in the wisdom of sages like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, paired with practical applications for modern life. This isn't just theory, it's a roadmap to make you invincible. Join me. We're embarking on a journey to master your mind, and when you master your mind, you master your life. Before we dive into the first principle, if you're seeking inner strength, unshakable resolve, and wisdom to overcome any challenge, subscribe to the channel now. Hit the like button if this message resonates with you. Share this video with someone who needs it and leave a comment below. What makes your mind most vulnerable? I read every comment and can't wait to hear your perspective. Number 1, embrace voluntary discomfort. We often spend our lives chasing comfort, soft beds, cool air conditioning, fast food, glowing screens, endless entertainment. But this constant comfort is silently eroding our spirit and willpower day by day. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Train yourself to endure, not to complain. What comes easily weakens you. Conversely, discomfort, hardship, and unease, when chosen deliberately, are the forge for a steel mind." That's why, if you truly want to become invincible, you must learn to embrace discomfort as an ally, not an enemy. Voluntary discomfort is the act of stepping into stress deliberately to expand your mental strength. It's not about self-torture, but about breaking your dependence on ease. Someone accustomed to a soft life panics when faced with hardship. But someone who has walked into darkness, slept on cold ground, run through rain, fasted, or gone hours without their phone, when life demands they suffer, they smile and say, "I'm ready." Stoics believe that if you can't control your relationship with discomfort, you'll remain a slave to circumstances. They practiced this not because they enjoyed suffering, but because they knew discomfort could forge an unbreakable spirit. Seneca would spend a few days each month living like a pauper, eating sparingly, wearing tattered clothes, and sleeping on the floor just to ask himself, "Is this what I feared?" When he realized he was fine, his mind became impregnable. Today, you don't need to become an ascetic or abandon everything to practice this. Start with the smallest things. Turn off the air conditioner and sleep in the heat. Take a cold shower in the morning. Wake up earlier than usual. Skip breakfast. Push your physical limits in exercise. Or simply stay silent when you want to react. Stand still when you want to flee. Each small act thickens your mental armor. You stop fearing hardship. And when you no longer fear hardship, you're no longer controlled by fear. You'll be amazed at the change in yourself after just a week of small challenges, not in your body, but in your inner resolve. You no longer rely on feeling good to function. You become more alert, decisive, and, most importantly, able to face pressure without crumbling. This is the foundation for becoming unshakable. A mind accustomed to difficulty is a free mind. Of course, this won't be easy. Your brain will conjure every excuse to delay, to avoid leaving your comfort zone. It'll tell you, "Just today," or "You've tried enough." But that's the voice of weakness within you. To control your life, you must silence that voice and act against it. Seek discomfort deliberately to shape your destiny. Don't let life teach you with sudden blows. Teach yourself with lessons you control. From now on, view every rejection of comfort as a forging of your will. Let your feet feel on uneven paths. Let your body shiver in the cold. only to realize your mind can endure more than you thought. Eat less, speak less, demand less, and instead live more, with courage, with conscious choice. In the moments you challenge yourself, you're training an inner warrior who'll stand firm when the world collapses. If you're inspired to start, share this with a friend. From today, I choose discomfort. Write that in the comments below and tell me how you'll begin. Cold showers, waking up earlier, or a day without your phone? I'll read every comment. If this video makes you feel even slightly stronger, hit like, subscribe, and share it with others seeking resilience like you. Life isn't easy, but you can be stronger than it if you dare choose the hard path. The next part will elevate your mind further. How to break free from the obsession with external validation. Number 2, detach from external validation. Have you ever felt inadequate just because you didn't get enough likes on social media? Or changed how you dress or speak just to be accepted by others? If so, you're not alone. Most of us have lived like this, puppets pulled by the strings of others' gazes and praise. But Marcus Aurelius wrote, "I can stand upright, or if not, I can stand by being propped up. But either way, I will stand." This means you don't need others' approval to be steadfast. The only thing you need is a mind freed from dependence on external praise and recognition. When you live for others' agreement, you place your soul in their hands. They control your emotions, your mood, even the direction of your life. If they praise, you're happy. If they criticize, you collapse. But if you truly want to be invincible, you must break free from this praise-blame cycle. You must learn to stand still amid applause and boos alike. That's how Stoics lived. Not through indifference, but through the realization that true worth doesn't come from what others think, but from the alignment of your actions with your inner principles. Epictetus said, "If you want to progress, accept that others will think you're a fool." This sounds simple, but holds boundless liberating power. Only when you're ready to be misunderstood, ready to be mocked, are you truly free to live by your own values. Otherwise, you'll remain trapped in a cycle of impressing, comparing, and slowly killing yourself to fit a world that's never truly honest with you. So how do you begin detaching from external validation? First, observe yourself. Identify behaviors you do only out of fear of judgment, like staying silent in a meeting to avoid being wrong, dressing elaborately to avoid seeming outdated, or posting a photo just to count likes. Each time you act to seek approval, you give away a piece of your freedom. You need to reclaim it bit by bit. Second, do things no one sees, knows, or applauds. Write a journal you don't share. Help someone without telling anyone. Train at 5 a.m. with no audience. This rebuilds intrinsic worth, a value system that doesn't need external confirmation. In that moment, you become formidable, because no one can manipulate you anymore. Third, change the questions in your mind. Don't ask, "What do others think of me?" Ask, "Am I true to myself?" Don't ask, "Will this be recognized?" Ask, "Does this align with my principles?" When you change the questions, you change your direction. And when your direction comes from within, you're no longer tossed by external emotional waves. Today's world is designed to feed the ego's hunger for validation. Every notification, like, or follow triggers dopamine, making you addicted to being seen. But you don't have to live like that. You can choose the harder path, the path of inner stillness. And you'll discover, when you stop trying to impress, you become truly impressive. Because you're yourself, authentic, unpretentious, not straining to please anyone. Remember, true recognition doesn't come from the crowd. It comes from the few who see you living your truth. More importantly, it comes from you, from the voice in your head at day's end, asking, "Today, did I live by my ideals?" If the answer is yes, you don't need anyone else to call you great. You're enough. If this message resonates, try living one day without seeking validation. No posts, no boasting, no waiting for feedback. Just live, work, and think as you believe is right. Then return to this video and share how it felt. Comment below, "I live for my values, not their approval." If this section stirs something in you, like the video as a commitment to change. Don't forget to subscribe to catch the next principles, tools to forge a mind immune to manipulation. Now we move to a technique the ancient Stoics saw as the most potent medicine for restructuring the mind. Negative visualization, or the art of imagining the worst. Number 3, daily negative visualization. Each morning when you wake, what does your mind do first? Does it rush to your to-do list, get swept by negative news, or worry about something that hasn't happened? What about Stoics like Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, or Epictetus? They began their day with a counterintuitive act, imagining the worst that could happen, not out of pessimism, but from a profound understanding. When you face your fears head-on, you reclaim control. When you visualize loss, failure, or adversity in advance, you're vaccinating your mind. This is the art of negative visualization, one of the most powerful techniques for cultivating calm and inner strength. Picture this. You sit quietly in the morning before the world reaches you. You close your eyes and ask, what's the worst that could happen today? A fight, a failed project, betrayal by someone you trust, or even losing a loved one. In that moment, you don't panic. Instead, you observe it like watching a movie. You see yourself responding, not with anger or fear, but with acceptance, proactivity, and reason. That's where you begin building an unshakable mind. Seneca wrote, "He has learned the best lesson in living well when he can reflect on misfortunes without trembling." This isn't cruelty, it's initiative. Imagining losing your wealth makes you cherish what you have. Picturing a tomorrow without loved ones makes you live today with true gratitude and love. Negative visualization doesn't steal your happiness. It expands its depth, breadth, and durability. The beauty is, this technique requires nothing but quiet and a few minutes daily. You can do it over coffee, in your car, or before bed. Ask yourself, what if I lose this job? What if I start from zero? What if my loved one isn't here tomorrow? The answer isn't panic, but realizing how precious everything is. Negative visualization transforms you from someone demanding perfection to someone cherishing ordinary moments. In a modern world obsessed with positivity, this technique sounds wrong. But face reality, no one lives without loss, failure, or pain. The issue isn't avoiding the worst. It's whether you're mentally prepared to embrace it as part of life. When you visualize the worst, your mind isn't caught off guard. It becomes calm, sharp, and strong. Nothing can knock you down because you've died in your mind many times and still stood up. Try this exercise now. Close your eyes and imagine losing something you take for granted. Your health, a close friend, or the freedom you have. Feel the pain, then open your eyes and look at what you have with deep gratitude. That's the foundation of lasting happiness. Not in gaining more, but in valuing what's here, thanks to imagining a day when it's gone. Marcus Aurelius, a king, philosopher, warrior, wrote in Meditations, "You may not control what happens, but you can control how you face it." Negative visualization was how he prepared for unannounced battles, not with weapons, but with a mind immune to surprise. Today, this technique also dismantles entitlement. You're not owed love, kindness, or success. Everything is a privilege. Embracing this, you live lighter, without demands or resentment. When good comes, you receive it with gratitude, not expectation. If this section stirs something in you, try negative visualization today. Comment below, "I face the worst to live better with what I have." Hit like if you find this valuable, and share this video with someone needing a reminder. Adversity isn't as scary as an unprepared mind. If you haven't subscribed, hit subscribe to follow this journey to an invincible mind. The next parts will be deeper, stronger, and more practical. Number 4, observe, don't react. Have you ever found yourself completely losing control because of a thoughtless remark from someone? Or felt anger surging because a situation didn't go as expected? In those moments, you're not truly living. You're being dragged like a puppet by your own emotions. You're not observing, you're only reacting. This is what Stoic masters like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca always warned against. If you can't control your reactions, you're living in an invisible prison built by your emotions. Observe, don't react is a core principle for training your mind to become resilient and impregnable. In every situation, you have two choices. One is to react instantly, swept away by anger, hurt, or anxiety. The other is to step back, observe your emotions, analyze their cause, and respond with calm rationality. The difference isn't just a few seconds. It's the difference between a person mature in spirit and one still ruled by instinct. Imagine you're driving and someone rudely cuts you off. The instinctive reaction might be to honk loudly, yell curses, or even try to overtake them in retaliation. But an observer pauses in their mind and asks, "Do I really need to sacrifice my peace over someone's thoughtless act?" They don't react on impulse. They respond with awareness. Observation creates the space for choice. In that space, you reclaim mastery over your life. Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotions. Stoics don't avoid pain or anger. They face emotions like a scientist observing a chemical reaction, noting, not judging. When an emotion arises, you might say, "I feel insulted. This is anger. My heart's beating faster." You are not that emotion. You're observing it. By mastering the gap between emotion and action, you become stronger than anyone losing control out there. One effective tool for this is deep breathing. When you feel the urge to react, pause and take a deep breath. This not only calms you physiologically, but also creates a brief moment to activate observation. Breath is an anchor keeping you from drifting with emotional waves. When you're aware of your breath, you start becoming aware of yourself, beginning the journey of mind mastery. Remember, those who want you to react are controlling you. In toxic relationships, high-pressure jobs, or provocative social media, many forces aim to pull you off balance. Insults, provocations, staged situations, all target one goal, to make you lose your calm, giving them the upper hand. But when you stay silent, observe, and keep your mind steady, you dismantle their strategy. You don't just protect yourself, you leave them without tools to manipulate. Observation also deepens self-understanding. When you stop reacting blindly, you see your inner psychological patterns. What angers you, what hurts you, what unhealed limits remain. Each time you step back to observe, you dig deeper into your essence. This isn't just a method for emotional control, it's a path to lasting inner growth. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have the power to keep your mind undisturbed. No one can confuse you unless you allow it." That's the ultimate power you can possess. Control over your inner world. It starts with observing, not reacting. You can practice this today. In any tense situation, pause for a second and ask, "What am I feeling? What's triggering this emotion?" Just asking begins the observation process. If you can observe, you can control. The more you practice, the wider the gap between stimulus and reaction becomes. In that gap, you find true freedom. If this sharing makes you realize something about yourself, give the video a like to help the algorithm reach others in need. Comment below, "I choose to observe, not react," as a commitment to your journey of mastering your mind. If you haven't subscribed, hit subscribe to catch the next parts of this Stoic series, helping you become your most resilient and wise self. Don't keep this value to yourself. Share the video with a friend, family member, or anyone needing to find calm in a chaotic world. Number 5. Journaling for mental clarity. In today's world, where distraction is the norm and mental noise drowns out inner stillness, the seemingly simple act of writing down your thoughts is profoundly revolutionary. Journaling isn't just about recording the day's events. It's a tool to illuminate your mind, filter out chaos, and see what truly matters. When you write, you don't just release tangled emotions, you step onto a clear path towards self-mastery and wisdom. Marcus Aurelius, a great Stoic thinker and emperor, left behind Meditations, a collection of writings penned for himself, not for publication or display, but to reflect inwardly. He wrote in silence while the empire slept, asking himself, "Have I lived rightly? Did I let emotions drive my actions?" Am I still bound by meaningless things? Through this habit of writing, he maintained awareness, reason, and insight amid the storm of power and political pressure. When you start journaling, you allow yourself to face the truth. Not the world's truth, but your inner truth. Thoughts that flash by quickly become clear and sharp when put on paper. You'll see fears you never dared name, quiet aspirations and inner contradictions you've tried to ignore. The paper doesn't judge, it only reflects. Through this, you gradually unravel the chaos in your mind. Journaling also builds consistency in thinking. When you write down your principles, beliefs, and goals, you reprogram your mind to follow your chosen path, not one dictated by environment, media, or impulsive emotions. For example, you might write, "I choose calm over provocation. I don't let success or failure define me. I know who I am, and I don't need anyone's validation." These aren't just reminders. They're walls guarding you from the world's chaos. Interestingly, writing about negative emotions strips them of power. You might feel irritated, jealous, or insecure today, but when you write, "I feel jealous because my friend succeeded," those words objectify the emotion, as if you're observing it from outside rather than drowning in it. From there, you analyze, why am I jealous? What do I really want? What can I do instead of stewing? This process doesn't happen in your head. It starts when you force yourself to articulate it on paper, clearly and honestly. You don't need to write like a novelist. Journaling is an art, it's a personal journey. You can write short, long, scribble, or leave sentences unfinished. No one judges, because this is the one place you can be wholly yourself. It's also where you practice honesty with yourself, something many adults never do their entire lives. They're afraid of their dark corners, their inner flaws, but not you. You write because you're brave. With each page, you build clarity, the solid foundation of an unshakable mind. Start simply. Each morning, put pen to paper and answer 3 questions. How do I feel today? What am I thinking? What do I want to focus on? Or before bed, write one thing you're grateful for, one thing to improve, and one lesson from the day. These questions may repeat, but that repetition reveals psychological patterns, helping you understand yourself deeper than any therapy. If your life feels overwhelmed by problems, write about them. On paper, a problem isn't a murky cloud anymore. You see its structure, its parts, and find solutions. Sometimes just writing it out lifts half the burden. Sometimes you realize the problem isn't as grave as you thought. You can keep an emotional journal, a strategic journal, or a journal of life principles. Each type brings you closer to your most resilient self. The key is, write a little each day, like a ritual to renew your mind, filter emotions, and strengthen awareness. If you often feel lost in anxiety or chaos, journaling is the map guiding you back to a clear mind and calm heart. Try 10 minutes daily. No social media, no phone, just you, a pen, and paper. It's a sacred space you deserve. If you see journaling as a powerful tool you want to try today, comment below, "I start writing to clarify my mind," as a personal commitment. If this sharing feels valuable, hit like to help the algorithm spread it further. Don't forget to subscribe to follow the next parts of this mind training journey, and share this video with a friend needing inner clarity. Number 6, minimalism of the mind. We often think of minimalism as a lifestyle with fewer possessions, tidy and free from material burdens. But few realize there's a far more crucial form of minimalism. Minimalism of the mind. This is when you learn to let go of excess thoughts, anxieties not rooted in the present, and questions that lead nowhere. A cluttered mind leaves you directionless, while a minimalist mind grants you exceptional clarity and inner strength. Minimalism of the mind doesn't mean rejecting thought or emptying your life. On the contrary, it's about choosing to think at the right time, in the right way, and dedicating mental energy to what truly matters. In an era besieged by information, news, opinions, and the pressure to react instantly to everything, a mind that knows how to simplify is a fortress amid a chaotic storm. Imagine carrying a backpack, not of objects but of thoughts. Each time you replay an old conversation, you add a stone. Each time you blame yourself for a minor mistake, another stone. Each time you worry about an unformed future, you toss in a boulder. Eventually, you're exhausted, not because life is too heavy, but because your mind is carrying too much unnecessary weight. Minimalism of the mind is the act of setting the backpack down, opening it, and deliberately discarding meaningless stones. One of the first steps to simplify your mind is learning to distinguish essential thoughts from useless noise. Many of our thoughts don't originate within us, but from external sources like social media, public opinion, others' expectations, or past negative experiences. If you're not vigilant, your mind becomes occupied by sounds that aren't yours. Ask yourself, where did this thought come from? Does it help me act better? If not, let it go. Mental minimalism also means distilling your life principles to their core. You don't need to chase countless goals at once or please everyone. You only need to know what matters most to you and reject the rest. A minimalist mind isn't scattered by every possibility, but focuses fully on what's happening now. A simple strategy for applying mental minimalism is limiting concerns. Picture yourself at a control panel with hundreds of buttons representing worries. Work, money, health, reputation, relationships, future, past, others' opinions. You can't press them all without chaos, so why not choose just 2 or 3 buttons you can truly control now and switch off the rest? That's how great Stoics like Epictetus and Seneca lived, focusing only on what they could control and remaining indifferent to the rest. A minimalist mind is also a steadfast one. When you're no longer pulled by tangled emotions and thoughts, you become lighter, clearer, and harder to manipulate. You can listen to others without being swayed. You can face pressure without panic. You can decide without needing the world's approval. That's the pinnacle of inner freedom, something no money, status, or degree can buy. Remember, mental minimalism doesn't happen overnight. It's a steady process of decluttering and training. Each day, spend 5 minutes writing down what's weighing on you, then cross out what you can't control. Create quiet time without social media or news, just to observe and listen to yourself. Establish simple principles like only react with clear facts, only invest emotions in what matters long-term, only keep relationships that foster growth. The fewer things in your mind, the more energy you have for creating value. If your mind feels like a room full of junk, start by clearing one small corner. Don't try to clean it all in a day, but clean consistently. Each time you choose not to dwell on something useless, you're simplifying. Each time you focus on what matters, you're living wiser. When this becomes habit, you'll feel a relief like never before, as if you're breathing for the first time after years of suffocating in chaos. If you're seeking mental clarity, comment below, "I choose to live minimally from within," as a declaration of your change. If this sharing feels valuable, hit like to help the algorithm spread this video further. Share it with a friend feeling overwhelmed by life, and subscribe to continue this journey of mind training, because we're not stopping here. Number 7, power of present moment. There's a truth most of us know but constantly forget. The present is the only thing we truly have. The past is just memories, the future doesn't yet exist. And while you're busy worrying about what happened or what might happen, you're losing the only time you can truly live, this moment, right now. The power of the present moment isn't just a philosophical slogan or spiritual lesson. It's a real ability that can transform how you think, feel, and act. Once you grasp the strength of the present moment, you'll never see life through the same eyes again. In an age where attention is pulled every second by phones, notifications, emails, and countless distractions, the ability to return to the present is a superpower. You'll notice most anxiety stems from the future, and most regret comes from the past. But when you're in the present, truly present, neither anxiety nor regret has a foothold. You can't worry about tomorrow while fully focusing on what you're doing now. You can't regret the past while cherishing this moment. Genuine presence creates a peace no external thing can give. Recall the most beautiful moments of your life. Perhaps a sunset on a beach, a tight hug from a loved one, a time you were immersed in creative work, or a moment sitting in nature feeling you needed nothing more. Those moments share one thing: you were fully there, undistracted, unfazed, unforced. That complete presence made them precious. Living in the present doesn't mean rejecting future plans or forgetting past lessons. It just means not letting your mind get trapped in those time zones. You plan, then return to the present. You learn from mistakes, then return to the present. Because real action can only happen here and now. You can't change the past or live in the future, but you can do the right thing in this moment, and that shapes the future you want. Practicing presence starts with observation. Learn to notice small details: the sound of the wind, your breath's rhythm, the taste of food, the feel of water on your hands when washing your face. These seemingly trivial things are keys to training presence. When you engage the present with all your senses, you pull your mind from the whirl of thoughts and place it in the flow of life. A simple habit to return to the present is asking, where am I? What am I doing? Am I truly here? When you feel lost, overwhelmed, or drifting in your mind, pause and ask these questions. They're not philosophical rituals, but acts of salvation. You'll breathe lighter, feel pressure ease, and see things more clearly. One of the most powerful tools to harness the present strength is meditation. Meditation isn't about becoming perfectly calm or escaping life. It's training attention. You learn to observe thoughts instead of being swept by them. You learn to stay with your breath instead of chasing noise. Each time you meditate, you tell your mind, we'll be here now and don't need to be anywhere else. The present's power also lies in choosing how to respond. When you're truly present, you don't act on reflex, but with understanding. You don't rush to reply to a message in anger or make hasty decisions in mental chaos. You give yourself a moment to breathe, observe, and act deliberately. This is how truly strong people operate. They control the moment rather than being controlled by it. If life feels too fast, too noisy, too messy, remember, everything you need is in the present. No need to race, no need to be perfect, just be here. When you're fully present, you see what's real, what's false, and what's worth your mental investment. This clarity is the foundation for all personal growth, from self-understanding and healing wounds to achieving grand goals. If you're reading this and feel a part of you wants to slow down and be more present, I invite you to share your thoughts by commenting below. Commenting not only helps you remember, but inspires others to practice too. If this message feels meaningful, hit like and share the video with friends or family needing a reminder of the present's value. And don't forget to subscribe to catch the next parts, where we'll explore more mental skills to make you invincible. Number 8, control the narrative in your head. In every moment of life, you're telling yourself a story. That story isn't about what's actually happening outside, but how you interpret it in your mind. You don't merely experience reality, you filter it through the lens of memories, expectations, fears, and long-held beliefs. The story you tell yourself can become a powerful force to overcome challenges or a shackle that holds you back. This is why Stoics emphasize, to become invincible, you must learn to control the narrative in your head. Marcus Aurelius wrote, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. This reveals a simple yet profound truth. You can't control every circumstance, but you can always control how you talk about it in your mind. When someone insults you, you can tell a story that you're belittled, hurt, or trampled. Or you can tell a story that it's a chance to practice calm, self-control, and compassion. When you fail, you can say you're worthless, or that this is a lesson to rise stronger. The story you choose shapes your life's direction. The tragedy is that most people don't realize they can rewrite their story. They live by an outdated script written in childhood, from unhealed wounds or others' words. They hear an inner voice repeating negatives like, you're not good enough, you don't deserve it, no one will ever truly love you. By hearing and believing it endlessly, they take these stories as truth. But the truth is, those are just scripts you've been programmed to believe. Once you see this, you can start rewriting them line by line. The first step to controlling your narrative is becoming aware of it. When you feel disappointed, frustrated, or hopeless, pause and ask, what story am I telling myself right now? Is it true or just an assumption? Does it serve my growth or shrink me? Only by seeing the story running in your head can you begin to change it. Next, replace the old story with a deliberate one. If you've been rejected and telling yourself, I'm not good enough, shift to, this is a chance to grow, to become a better, more fitting version of myself. If you fear failure and say, if I mess up, people will laugh, replace it with, each mistake is a step closer to getting it right. This isn't self-deception. It's reframing events to propel you forward instead of trapping you in fear and insecurity. Great leaders, top athletes, and sages all know how to tell the right story in their heads. They don't let fear, judgment, or fleeting emotions control them. Instead, they hold a reminder, I create my reactions, not fall victim to circumstances. They know that controlling the narrative controls behavior, and controlling behavior controls outcomes. A simple technique to practice is daily journaling, describing a negative situation and rewriting it from a positive, objective, growth-oriented perspective. Writing forces you to dialogue with yourself rationally, not emotionally. Over time, you'll build a habit of thinking in ways that uplift rather than harm you. Another way to control your narrative is to shift your inner language. The words you use to talk to yourself shape your emotions and actions. Saying, I failed breeds helplessness. Saying, this is valuable data to improve, fuels energy. Language is the matrix of the mind. Be mindful of every sentence, word, and internal description. Finally, remember each day is a chance to rewrite your life through the story you choose to tell. You can't fully change the past, but you can change how you narrate it. That change has the power to heal wounds, ignite strength, and lead you to a different future. If what you've heard makes you pause and reflect, share what you're realizing by commenting below. Tell me, which story in your head will you rewrite today? If this message deserves to spread, hit like and share the video with a friend who needs it. Most importantly, subscribe to join me in the next journeys, where we'll keep exploring and training wisdom, inner strength, and true freedom. Number 9, choose purpose over emotion. In the journey to forge an invincible mind, there's a principle every master of inner strength understands. Choose purpose over emotion. Emotions are an unpredictable current, rising and falling with the winds of circumstance, while purpose is a compass, a pivot you can rely on to guide your actions despite the storms raging within. This doesn't mean denying emotions or living like a cold machine. Rather, it's an art of navigation, where you learn to observe emotions but not let them dictate your path. You feel anger, sadness, jealousy, fear. That's human. But you can choose not to act on those emotions. You can let them pass like clouds in the sky and keep moving forward for a greater reason. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do what is right, let the rest go to emotion." This seems simple but holds a power only true Stoic practitioners deeply grasp. In a life's critical moments, where a single wrong choice could lead to decades of regret, emotions often whisper seductively, leading you astray. When insulted, emotions urge immediate retaliation. When you fail, emotions tell you to quit. When insecure, emotions push you to seek external validation. But with a clear purpose, you're no longer so easily swayed. You know what matters more: retaliation or inner freedom, anger or lasting peace, fleeting ego or sustainable growth. Centering your thinking on purpose changes how you decide. You stop asking, "How do I feel about this?" and start asking, "Does this serve my greater goal?" When you wake up feeling lazy, instead of indulging and staying in bed, you recall why you began this journey of discipline. You get up acting on purpose. When you want to quit after a failure, you don't ask, "Do I still feel confident?" but, "Am I getting closer to my best self?" This shift in questions creates an inner strength no fleeting emotion can defeat. To practice choosing purpose over emotion, you must first clarify your purpose. It doesn't need to be grand or world-changing. Sometimes it's as simple as, become calmer, live true to myself, not others' judgments, or stay rational in tough moments? These are worthy purposes. Once defined, write it down, read it daily, and remind yourself. Every action should reflect this. Don't let emotions pull you off this path. Another key is recognizing emotions as they arise. When you overreact, get angry, lose control, or avoid something, pause and ask, what emotion is driving me now? Where is it coming from? Does it serve my purpose? If not, you know what to do. Stop, breathe deeply, and return to your original goal. This won't come smoothly at first, but like any skill, practice sharpens your ability to steer emotions to their proper place. Warriors, leaders, sages, they weren't emotionless. They felt deeply but knew how to place emotions correctly. They acted on core values, not letting fleeting waves capsize their ship. They proved the power of a trained mind, where emotions are heard but not given control. A simple practice to build this is to write 2 columns. On the left, emotions I often feel. On the right, purpose I'm pursuing. When you waver, look at the right column. It'll remind you why you can't give up, react negatively, or lose yourself. If this feels meaningful, note it now. What's the greatest purpose you're living for? Let it be your inner map. If this message touches you, if you see that you don't need to avoid emotions, but to guide them rightly, like this video to show you're with me on this journey. Comment below, sharing the goal you're pursuing and an emotion you're learning to master. If you think someone else needs this, a friend, family member, colleague, share the video with them. Finally, if you haven't subscribed, do so now to catch the next lessons. In the next part, we'll explore a seemingly simple but profoundly deep principle, silence as power. If you're ready, let's continue this journey together. Number 10, silence as power. In a noisy world where everyone competes to speak, react, and show off, silence is sometimes the most powerful action you can choose. Silence isn't weakness or avoidance. It's the mark of a mature, self-mastered inner world. When you learn to stay silent at the right moment, you escape the whirlpool of emotions and stop being a puppet pulled by others' words and actions. You step out of the control game, and in that moment, you become the one truly in charge. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The strongest person is the one who can remain calm in a storm." And what embodies that calm better than silence? In heated arguments, when others use sharp words to attack you, your silence unnerves them. They can't control you, can't predict your thoughts, can't force you to react. Silence becomes a mirror reflecting their unease and emotions, while you stand firm like an impregnable fortress. Silence is also a space for wisdom to grow. While others are busy arguing, blaming, or trying to be right, you stay silent to observe, understand, and choose the smartest response if one is truly needed. In the moments you say nothing and just listen, you learn the most. Silence is time to reorder chaotic thoughts, connect with your deepest self, and revive awareness and clarity. This is why many philosophers, leaders, and legendary warriors made meditation and stillness essential to their growth. Recall times you lost control and said something you later regretted. Words spoken in anger, reactions in the heat of the moment, impulsive decisions driven by fleeting emotions, all were the price of not pausing, not staying silent when it mattered. Had you stopped, kept silent for just a few seconds, you might have avoided needless hurt. Silence is armor shielding you from your untrained instincts. It's the ultimate strategy of someone who knows strength lies not in speaking much, but in knowing when to hold back. Another aspect of silence is mastering personal energy. Each time you react to others, you give them your energy. When you stay silent, you retain that power. You don't let others' emotions sway you or external circumstances dictate your mood. You become a stable center in a turbulent world. And intriguingly, when you master silence as a tool, you'll find you're respected more, listened to more, and have deeper influence. Because your presence needs no noise. However, silence isn't evasion. It's not the silence of fear, withdrawal, or suppression. It's conscious silence, the silence of someone who knows what they're doing and why they choose not to react. It's active, not passive. Those who stay silent at the right time always know when to speak and when to save words for a better moment, where their words will make a profound impact instead of worsening things. A simple practice you can apply is this. Whenever you feel the urge to react instantly in an argument, when insulted, when something frustrates you, pause for 5 seconds and choose silence. Take a deep breath. Observe your emotions. Ask, if I say this, will it serve my greater purpose? If the answer is no, silence is the wisest action. Each time you do this, you train your brain to be calmer, more rational, and stronger. The truth is, in an increasingly chaotic and uncontrolled world, those who master silence make the difference. They don't need to shout to prove anything. Their silence speaks of resolve, depth, and the inner freedom so many seek. If you're on the journey to become an unbeatable version of yourself, learning to wield silence as a weapon is something you can't overlook. If what I have shared makes you reflect or opens a new perspective, hit like to spread this video further. Comment below, sharing your experience using silence as a transformative tool. Have you ever chosen silence and avoided a mistake? Share that story. If you think this video could help someone struggling with emotions or conflicts, share it with them. Finally, don't forget to subscribe to join me in this journey of forging an invincible mind from within. We've journeyed together through the forging of an invincible mind. From daring to step into discomfort, detaching from external praise or blame, practicing negative visualization, observing instead of reacting, journaling for inner clarity, decluttering the mind like a minimalist, living fully in the present moment, mastering the narrative in your head, prioritizing purpose over emotion, and finally wielding silence as absolute power. These aren't ideas to hear and forget. They're a roadmap for real action, turning thought into habit and habit into unshakable strength. The world will keep testing you, creating chaos and uncertainty. But the key is, you're no longer as easily defeated. Your mind is now a fortress. No one can breach it unless you allow them. If you feel this video could be a small spark lighting someone else's path, share it with them. If something here woke you up, leave a comment below. I want to hear about your journey. Don't forget to hit like so YouTube knows content like this deserves to spread. And subscribe to keep joining me in this quest to forge wisdom and resilience. Remember, the world may be chaotic, but your inner world doesn't have to be. Train your mind daily because once you master yourself, nothing out there can touch you.